Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is December 19th. So we are just a few days away from Christmas and I have this huge, massive pile of laundry to fold plus another 2 baskets. So I thought that I would chat with you while I fold this laundry and maybe tell you a little bit about our Christmas traditions. I had intended to make a whole prep video today and film so that I could kind of get ready for January, because that'll probably be my first video of the new year. How to sort of reset and prep my Sunday preps, because I do a lot of Sunday preps since I'm a working mom. But I just honestly had so much to do today that I wasn't able to film at all, because sometimes when I have to film, it just adds extra time or steps. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Tana and I am a working mom. I started my YouTube channel in 2020, so I'm fairly new to YouTube. And I love doing YouTube, it's fun. I like meeting all of you, connecting with you in the comments. So if you're new here, introduce yourself below. I would love to get to know you. And if you're a working mom especially, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me a little bit about your life and maybe what you might be looking for help with. These ones are still wet, they have to go back in the dryer when it comes to working mom life and all that stuff. And also, if you're new, we recently moved to this house that I'm sitting in right now. We were on House Hunters 2 weeks ago, and we moved over the summer, late summer. We moved from Washington, D.C. to upstate New York. We moved back to where I'm from, so that was kind of the cause for the move. And we just have a much bigger house, so we're able to kind of spread out and do a lot more with this house than we were in the past. So this channel is, like I said, all about kind of working mom life, family, motherhood, and getting your house together, because I know what it's like to always feel like your house is a little bit of a, you know what, bleep show, if you will. I'll bleep myself out. So this morning I already made the dog's food for the week. Our dog was recently diagnosed with chronic kidney failure. And so she's on a low protein diet and we have to make her food now. So I did that this morning, which is a whole process. I made her a week's worth because I just didn't have the energy to make more than that. So I made a week's worth. And then I also really needed to go through the kids' pajama drawers because they've gotten completely out of control. They just have multiple sizes in there and they're in the same size right now actually. So I went through and I just took out anything that was seasonal, off season, and the wrong sizes. So I would feel really good about getting that done. Michael and the kids made a bunch of cookies. They're kind of in progress for that. I have a particular cookie I want to make. I didn't get to it. It's probably not going to happen today. We are actually leaving for the Polar Express soon, which is why I'm in my pajamas, because as my son said, you can only go on the Polar Express as an adult if you wear your pajamas. So everyone in the family is wearing their pajamas. I actually found the kids' Polar Express pajamas from last year, and they're very, very small on them. In fact, Ham's pajamas come all the way up to his calves, but he wants to wear them, so I'm not gonna tell him no. And yeah, we have to leave soon for that. So I'm just trying to get as much done as I can before we leave. They're upstairs napping. I think one might be napping, the other one is just talking to himself. So we'll see how tired they are when we leave the Polar Express. Okay, so let's talk about Christmas traditions, because I feel like that's fun and maybe kind of a cool way to get to know what we like to do here in our family. So one of our Christmas traditions is matching pajamas. These were our matching pajamas last year. I just dug them out of storage and I got my husband's out, and I think he's very enthusiastic about wanting to wear them today. Not. Comment below, do you make your husband wear matching pajamas, or your spouse make them wear matching pajamas, and do they hate it or do they play along? I'm curious, because I feel like this is a thing. Many spouses just don't get the matching pajama tradition. I don't know, maybe, Michael, did you have matching pajamas with your family growing up?
Hell no.
He did not have matching pajamas with his family growing up.
No, we didn't have matching stockings.
They didn't have matching stockings, matching anything. So I think probably that's part of it, because I grew up I always matched my sister because we're 20 months apart. So my mom would put us in matching. It's probably why I have a passion for putting my 20-month apart year old boys in matching pajamas or clothes in general. So I think that's partially where it comes from. I also feel like the matching pajama thing like has definitely taken off in the last like 10, 12 years, maybe longer, 15 years. I mean, there's so many places where you can buy matching pajamas now. The ones I'm wearing right now are from Hannah, Happy Hannah's, Hannah Anderson, and I love them. They're high quality. I'll leave a link if you want to check them out. One tip about them is I always buy off season because they're kind of pricey. So like I tend to buy like at the end of this Christmas season, like I'll check out what is on clearance at the end of this season and save it for next year and like size up for the boys and stuff. That's what I did last year. Like I got us all sets on Black Friday of these that matched. But then at the end of the season, I went and I bought the next size up for the kids so that we can all still have these and match. And that just kind of helps make the adult pajamas that you only wear like once or twice a year, that my husband wears once a year, go a little bit farther so that you don't feel like you're just buying pajamas that you're gonna wear once. So that's my little pro tip. I actually do that with all stuff that I get them that's like matching. I always get a third so that like we get 2 years out of it so that when Hamilton grows out of it, he can go into the extra size and then Theo can go into Hamilton size from the year before. So that's my little trick. But there's lots of other places you can get really cute pajamas. So you're probably gonna be watching this video tomorrow. And if you haven't gotten matching pajamas and you wanna still get them, I would say Target is a great option because you can go in person and still get it in time for Christmas. Or if you have a Target Red Card, a lot of times it's 2-day shipping. What else? I think Old Navy actually has some decent ones. I don't love the quality of Old Navy pajamas. I feel like they don't last as long. They're kind of, I don't know, especially with the kids ones, like they fade and kind of, I don't know, they don't last as long. But they're super cute. They have a lot of really cute ones. So that's another place where you can shop in person and get pajamas. Carter's started doing adult pajamas. So Carter's has always made super cute kids pajamas. Adorable. And like these ones that I just folded are from Carter's. I actually got these on, I think I got these on Poshmark last year, secondhand. They're Christmas. But they started making adult ones. So if you have a Carter's near you, although I don't know if they carry adult sizes in the store, you could probably rush ship them. And then of course there's Amazon, but Amazon I feel like is totally hit or miss because you don't really know who you're buying it from. I don't know. If you know of other pajama brands, matching pajama companies, leave them in the comments below. We could check them out. I know people are always looking and maybe we'll find some cute stuff for next year. So that's one of our traditions is matching pajamas. My sister and I, we would get our matching pajamas the night like Christmas Eve. So we would get one present to open from our parents on Christmas Eve, and it was pretty much always matching pajamas. And then my brother is 13 years younger than me. And so then he was added to the mix, and the three of us would have matching pajamas. It was always really fun. And what else? On Christmas Eve, we go to church. Growing up, I remember going to like midnight mass and how special that was. But our kids are a little bit too young for that, so we'll probably stick to like mid-afternoon, like 4 o'clock maybe. I don't know. We'll have to check and see what the schedule is like. And then of course we come home and we do the whole like milk and cookies for Santa and all that stuff. And then as far as Christmas Day, it's pretty much just a hangout sesh. I know everybody's like visit from Santa goes a little bit different depending, you know, I have friends where Santa only leaves one gift and it's unwrapped and all the other presents are for mom and dad. I have friends where at their house, mom and dad don't give any gifts or they give one gift and then Santa brings everything else. Sometimes Santa wraps, sometimes he doesn't. In our house, Santa always wraps the gifts and Santa always uses red paper. That's how we know that those are the Santa gifts. Also that way it's consistent from year to year, so it's always red paper. It's a little tip for you. Cause yeah, wrapping paper, sometimes that's the giveaway. And we try to kind of do it even, like when we wrapped our gifts, and I'll have that video up for you probably tomorrow. So day after this airs, meaning Tuesday. But when Michael and I did all of our wrapping this year, I feel like, I don't know, it was about even as far as like amount. We always try to keep it even Steven with the kids too. Like make sure there's equal number of gifts. And one thing I will say is that Santa wraps the stocking stuffers, because I feel like that kind of keeps the magic going. So that those stockings right there will be filled with wrapped goodies. And when I was growing up, we would always make our parents get up so early. And my sister and I would go downstairs. I think this started even before my brother was born. We would go downstairs and we'd get all the stockings and we would bring them back upstairs to my parents' bed. And then we would sit in the bed and open the stockings because they were like, you know, still half asleep. So we would open all the stockings there before we would head downstairs to start presents. And I mean, presents would take up the majority of the day because you got to stop and play with stuff, check things out, put batteries in things, get things moving. Got to take breaks, got to eat breakfast. My stepdad would always make huge omelets the day of Christmas, like huge ones. It's like the one kind of like day a year I feel like he would go all out for breakfast. And then usually growing up, I'd either have to go to my aunt's or all my cousins would come over. And my parents are divorced. They got divorced when I was 2, so it was pretty much always this way, where I would do Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with my mom and stepfather, and then Christmas Day, like the night of Christmas Day, I would usually go to my dad's around probably 5-ish, and have dinner with him, hang out, and then Santa would have already come because Santa comes on Christmas, so all the presents would already be there. But my sister and I would go to bed, and then we would wake up the next morning and kind of do Christmas a whole second time with my dad and my stepmom, and my grandparents would come, and we'd open all those presents. So I love the tradition of stretching out Christmas. I feel like there's so much build up to Christmas. There's so much, going on in the month leading up to it. It's kind of crazy and chaotic that when it gets here, it can be a little bit of a letdown. I always remember being a little bit blue on the 27th, oh, it's over. But then of course you have New Year's. So I think I would like to make sure that Christmas is extra special and just all the gifts and the presents and the being together stretches throughout the day. Our kids are little, but we're also trying to teach them that Christmas is not just about receiving, it's about giving. So Hamilton was in charge last week of giving all of his teachers their gifts when he went to school. And he has picked out a present for his brother. I put that in a video a while back. And yeah, we're just trying to teach them that it's not all about opening gifts. It's about Jesus and celebrating him and giving. So, and then what else? I don't know, let's talk about food. I feel like people are very particular about their food on Christmas. And for me, I'm not as particular about Christmas dinner or Christmas Eve. I think because growing up it changed. I don't know, Michael, you always had ham, right? What did you have? Did it change? Ham or beef? My dad would always make a ham.
Jerky, we mixed it up.
Michael mixed it up. His family mixed it up. My family, my dad always made a ham. It was the same meal every single year. But my mom and stepdad would always do something a little bit different. It was usually a beef tenderloin or pork tenderloin, or there was a couple years where we were very heavy on the Italian front, where we would make homemade stuffed shells or manicotti or something like that. Oh. And today's gonna hopefully be a tradition. The kids are probably it's gonna blow their mind, the Polar Express. They're gonna freaking love it. They're gonna be so stoked about it. And I think that will become a tradition for us because I just think it's gonna be so cute and enjoyable and relaxing, hopefully, for us to get on the train and just kind of chill for a little bit. Pure chaos! Pure chaos! So looking forward to that. Oh, Christmas concerts. I guess that's a tradition as well. Michael is in a chorus. So yesterday we went to his Christmas show, and it was also in conjunction with the Syracuse Symphony Orchestra. They have a new name now, but the orchestra. And that was pretty cool. And I always remember going to stuff like that growing up or being in them because I was in the chorus. Oh, well, we've made the tradition of the elf. We do Elf on the Shelf at our house. He comes to our house. His name is Superman. So that's definitely a tradition for my kiddos. They love that. And it's kind of become a tradition also to spend New Year's Eve with Michael's family. So we've done that the last couple of years, and they're gonna be coming to visit us in our new house right after Christmas, and they'll stay through New Year's. So that will be fun. Something to look forward to right after Christmas. Oh, cookie baking. Obviously cookie baking. Michael has to make like a bajillion cookies. When I was growing up, Michael hates this. When I was growing up, my sister and my mom would get like kind of stressed out when we would mess up her kitchen, which I never really understood why she was so uptight about it until I became a mom, and now I'm like, get out of my kitchen. Like, you're messing up my kitchen because my kitchen's constantly trashed by my children, who this morning, like, they found a box that had stuffing in it, and they had left the little paper mache stuffing. They trailed it through the entire first floor. It was everywhere. I wonder if I got a picture of it. But anyway, I remember my mom being like, get out of my kitchen. So we would wait until my mom would go to bed, and we would start baking cookies at like, I don't know, 10 or 10:30. Usually like right when school break started. So, you know, we wouldn't have school the couple days leading up to Christmas. And we would start baking these cookies, and we would just, we would just make a disaster of the kitchen. I'm still not very good at like cleaning as I go. I try really hard, but I'm not that great at it. And we would bake all these sugar cookies, and we would always try to make my great grandma moved here to America from Italy when she was little, and she would make all these amazing Italian cookies every year. And every year we would like try to make a new recipe. And she's been gone since I was in college, so we would be following these recipes. And remember one year we were like, what's a jigger? Because it called for a jigger of whiskey. I learned that year that a jigger is a shot. But we would always try to make the cookies, and
Sounds like rum balls.
they were bourbon balls. They're my dad's chocolate bourbon balls. They're like my dad's favorite. Maybe you should make those this year.
Sometimes do.
I'll dig up the recipe. But yeah, we would try really hard. We would make the rollouts. Michael gets very disturbed by how we make rollouts, because I would always just buy like the Betty Crocker mix, because the rollouts is really about the decorations. It's about the frosting. It's about the look of them. For him, it's the taste, I guess. But for me, it's always been about like, you know, the look of them. And
I don't make cookies from store-bought bags.
yeah, he doesn't make cookies from store-bought bags, but I always did when I was in high school. And that was kind of a tradition. My sister and I would trash the entire kitchen, and then we'd have to clean the whole thing up. We'd make all these cookies, and then I feel like no one would even eat them because they, like, one, didn't taste that good, and two, they weren't that pretty. But I kind of stopped baking cookies for a couple years while I was like living in New York City, and I didn't have a place to bake the cookies. My kitchen was like the size of a shoebox. But then I moved in with Michael, and he's making cookies right now. He's a cookie connoisseur.
You can show them.
I'll pick up the camera in a second when I'm done. Okay, tell us about these cookies.
So this is a perfect little tip here. Well, these are candy cane cookies. You make a, you can find this recipe anywhere online, but it's peppermint flavored with vanilla.
Here's the dough.
You divide the dough up. You color half of it, chill it, and now so I'm rolling it out into candy canes. So here's the tip.
Yes, get to the tip.
If you paint your cookies with egg whitewash before you sprinkle them with sprinkles, the sprinkles will stick better, and it'll make the cookies shiny, so it has a lot more vibrance.
So what kind of sprinkles? I can't believe you're doing the sprinkles while the kids are napping.
I'll just use red sprinkles. So see how much better they stick? And then the other piece of it is like, you put sprinkles on cookies, but then the minute you take them out and they cool and you pick them up, half the sprinkles fall off. I always hate that.
I always think it's interesting that you put the sprinkles on before you bake them.
Well, how else would you get them to stay?
Frosting.
See, I don't do... Frosting goes on cake, not on cookies. If your cookies taste good, you don't need frosting.
He's very particular.
Plus,
I told you.
Plus
He's getting
you
testy about
use
the cookies.
plus you use the frosting that's store bought and like a Betty Crocker thing. And
Well, I did growing
and people
up.
bite into that and they're like, oh, Betty Crocker, because it has a very particular flavor.
No, you need to make frosting for the ones we didn't do yet.
So that's
Okay, back to no, I'm good. Okay, back to the laundry. Gotta finish this laundry before we leave. He learned the cookie baking from his father. And he's just all about the cookie baking. He's teaching the kids about how to make cookies. He's very particular about the way they're made. So that is a tradition, certainly, is the cookie baking. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about our Christmas traditions. I enjoyed sharing them with you and getting this laundry done. And while you're here, go ahead and click this video here and this video here for a ton of other content around Vlogmas and the holidays. I even have a playlist ready for you, so click on that playlist. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye, friends.